Welcome to Send It John Boats. In today's video, we're going to be building a new wooden transom for our 1648 John Boat project, Project Bottomland Bateau. Stick around, I'm going to take you through all the steps and show you the right way to do it. Send it! If you like John Boats, mud motors, and things that just make you want to yell, yeah, yeah, then you've come to the right place, partner. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you go right down here, hit that subscribe button and the little bell thingy right next to it so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. So this video originally appeared on my hydrographics channel when we first started this project series a long time ago, but I've taken all the video footage and re-edited it for this channel so that you guys can keep up with what's going on with Project Bottomland Bateau. So let's jump in our YouTube time machine and go back to when I first built the wooden transom for this project boat. So this plywood I picked up at Lowe's is not a true 3/4 inch plywood. It's actually 23/32, which is pretty close to what we need, but it was cheap. It was 25 bucks, and I got a 4x8 sheet of it, which will give me enough to cut 2 transom pieces, and I could sandwich them together and glue them. So I'm going to use this old transom to help me build the new transom pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, lay it down as a template, trace it out, and then I'm just going to make it taller so that the whole back end of the boat is actually covered by the new transom pieces. What I'm going to use to help me cut it out with is a standard skill saw and a jigsaw. Hey, it's me again from the present. Just wanted to jump in here real quick and go over the wood that I used on this boat. Now there are a bunch of schools of thought on which wood you're supposed to use to build a transom. There are people that are in the, oh my God, you got to use this marine grade, extra special, whatever kind of wood. I don't buy into that crap. And let me tell you why. In a little bit, you're going to see us coat this entire transom in epoxy resin. This thing is going to be completely sealed. It's not going to have any air touching it. It's not going to have any water getting to it. There's going to be no elements to get to the wood. So what kind of wood you use really doesn't matter if you're going to do it the right way, which would be to coat it in epoxy resin or some other type of coating to keep the wood stable. Now, I would never use pressure treated wood to build a transom because, well, one, it's soaked in like all this pressure treating stuff and it's wet. You don't want that. Two, if you're sealing the wood that you're using, why does it need to be pressure treated in the first place? It's never going to touch water. So what I look for when I'm going to build a wood transom like this is I look for the strongest plywood that I possibly can at the cheapest price. You can go a little bit more high dollar if you want and get some fancy 7-ply like oak and birch plywood if you want to. That's all cabinet grade. I'm going to be coating this thing, so I don't care what it looks like. 5-ply plywood is plenty good enough. Just make sure that it doesn't have any voids in it. So about 25 to 30 bucks is the most you're ever going to need to spend on a wood transom like this if you do a coating over the top of it. So if you're one of those people that's going to lose your mind and go down in the comment section and go, oh my God, you got to use marine grade plywood. Guess what? We don't feed the trolls here on this channel, but you can go ahead and leave your comment below. We don't care. All right, now that we got one side of it completely cut out, let's go test fit it, make sure it works, and then we'll cut the other one out and glue them together. All right, so it looks like that's gonna be fine. I got just a little bit of a gap down here in the bottom, which is what I wanted so that I can slide this thing up in there real nice and easy. So we'll get the other one cut, get them glued together. So now I've got both pieces cut. I'm test fitting them both in here just to make sure they fit, and I ran into a little fitment issue. It's no big deal, we can fix it, but basically what's going on is I can't get these two pieces all the way up to the top of this aluminum channel. The reason is this has been squeezed so much. I've actually tried to bend it back out, but it's just this top part is a little bit thinner than the plywood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this area out, and I'm going to use a little small palm router with a flat cut bit in it, and I'm just going to hog out just enough of this area so that it'll fit nice and flush. Alright, so that fits a lot better with that area routed out. Let's go ahead and get these things glued together so that we can get it installed permanently. Alright, so to glue these two boards together, what I've done is swept them off real good, make sure there's no more sawdust on them, and we're going to be using Titebond 3. This is our ultimate wood glue. It is waterproof once it's dry, The reason I'm using 3 and not 2 or 1 is because this one has a little bit longer set time. It'll let me get it spread even all over both of these boards and get them clamped together really good before it starts to harden. So the next thing I'm going to do is clamp all the edges really good so that I can hold this thing in place while I screw it all together. In the past, what I've done with transoms is used oil-based paint to help seal the transom wood. I'm going to try something different on this one. I'm going to use this fiberglass resin. This was a suggestion from a buddy Anthony over at Top Gun John Boat. You check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to him up above. You can check his boat build out. He does a great job. But he's got a video on using this fiberglass resin, and he swears by it, so I'm going to give it a shot. I went and picked this up at Lowe's the other day. I think it was like 15, 16 bucks. Inside the cap, it comes with its own little tube of hardener, and it's a liquid hardener that you mix in with the resin. And according to the can, you can mix up like a quarter at a time, so you use a quarter of the can and a quarter of the resin. I went ahead and picked up an extra tube of the hardener just to make sure that I have enough in case I mix too much for some reason. But the first thing I'm going to do is wipe everything down with isopropyl alcohol, make sure it's good and clean. I've also got a chip brush to help me spread this stuff out, and a mixing cup and a standard paint stick just to help get the fiberglass resin mixed up. All right, so let's get started and we'll see how it goes. So the first layer of resin is now dry. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna go over this with some 60 grit sandpaper along these edges just to make sure that there was any drips or runs that I can sand those smooth. Sand the edges smooth one more time just so that the next coat of resin, when it goes to flow over, will stick to it real good. All right, so we've got the first coat done of the resin on both sides of this transom. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this thing over, take it outside, and I'm gonna scuff this backside real good, level it out, sand it, make sure it's nice and smooth, and we'll put one final last coat on it. And then once it's dry, we'll do the same thing on this front side. We'll sand it down real nice and smooth. That way, once it's completely done, any of the final drips will be on the backside. I can sand them, and then once they're up against the transom, you'll never even see them. All right, so let's get this thing sanded, get these last two coats done. Alright, so one final sanding on this side, one more coat of resin, and we will be done with the wood part of this transom. Let's get this over with because this is taking forever. Now we're gonna roll those bloopers for you here in just a second because I know you all want to see that. But let us take a second and always remember, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a boat. Bye guys. Video I have left blinks. I've left blinks. So dang, I said with that little area routed out, let's go ahead and get these glued together. And I dropped it. New wood transom we have all used today on intro video all the way to the video that we're currently watching now. I'm not watching, I'm filming. You're whatever. All those products and use them for yourself on your next jump boat. From the intro down to this video that we're doing now stuff. Yes. In the boat, and the only thing left got new. So that we can put the videos on the interwebs, and I give up.